On 13th April, the infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident took place. So, when did the Jallianwala Bagh incident took place? It is on 13th April 1919. On that day, a large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. So, all the people were crowded in the ground of Jallianwala Bagh. Some came to protest against the government new repressive measures. So, some people who were gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh, they have come so that they can protest against the government new repressive law, that is the Rowlatt Act. Others had come to attend the annual Baishakhi fair. So there were many innocent people who had come to attend the annual Baisakhi fair. Being from outside the city, many villages were unaware of the martial law that had been imposed. So there were many people who had come from different villages and they were unaware of the martial law. That means not more than 2 to 3 person can stand or sit together and have a talk, because it was against the martial law. So the meaning of martial law is that more than 2 to 3 people cannot sit or stand together outside and they can talk. So this was against the martial law in the Jallianwala Bagh. Dyer entered the area, blocked the exit point and opened fire on the crowd, killing hundreds. So suddenly General Dyer entered with his soldiers. He blocked the single one gate, that is exit point, and opened fire on the crowd, killing hundreds of the people. His object, as he declared later, was to produce a moral effect, to create in the minds of the Satyagrahis a feeling of terror and awe. So the main objective of General Dyer was to spread a feeling of terror and fear in the nationalist mind. So this was the main reason why he killed hundreds of people in the Jallianwala Bagh. As the news of Jallianwala Bagh spread, crowd took to the street in many North India towns. So as they come to know about what did the General Dyer did, the people protest against in the streets in the many towns of the North India. There were strikes, clashes with the police, and attacks on the government buildings. The government responded with brutal repression, seeking to humiliate and terrorize people. So the normal citizens of our country, they finally were doing strikes. They were fighting against the police and even attacking the different government buildings which was owned by the British. But the government, what did they did? Satyagrahis were forced to rub their nose on the ground. So the Satyagrahis were forced to rub their nose on the ground, crawl on the street and do salam, that is salute, to all the sahibs or the police, and people were flogged and villages around the Gujranwala in Punjab, now in Pakistan, were bombed. So these are the after effects what the nationalists did by doing strike and clashes with the people. So these are the main incident which the government or you can say the British government had done. Seeing violence spread, Mahatma Gandhi call of the movement. So when he learned about the incident which happened in the northern part of our India, he finally call of the movement. While the Rowlatt Satyagraha has been widespread movement, it was still limited mostly to cities and towns. Though Mahatma Gandhi call off the movement, but still the Satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act was still continuing in some part of the cities and town. Mahatma Gandhi now felt the need to launch a more broad-based movement in India, but he was certain that no such movement could be organized without bringing the Hindus and Muslims close together. So his main planning was to again launch a worldwide or nationwide satyagraha against the British. But in order to bring all the people together, first he have to bring the Hindus and Muslim together. one way of doing this he felt was to take up the Khilafat issue. So in order to bring the Hindus and Muslim together, he finally took important issues known as Khilafat issue. The First World War had ended in with the defeat of Ottoman Turkey. So the First World War was ended and the Ottoman Turkey was lost, and there were rumors that a harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman emperor, the spiritual head of the Islamic world, that is the Khalifa. So as they have lost in the First World War, the Britishers were pressurizing the emperor of the Ottoman, and the head of the Islamic world is the Khalifa. To defend the Khalifa's temporal power, a Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay in March 1919. So in order to help the Khilafat, or you can say the Khilafah is in the Ottoman Turkey, a Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay in the March 1919. A young generation of Muslim leaders like the brothers Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, do remember the name of these two brothers, they are very important, began discussing with Mahatma Gandhi about the possibility of a united mass action on the issue. So it was the Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, they had made the Khilafat committee in the Bombay, and they were discussing about the Khilafat issue with Mahatma Gandhi, so that they can unite, or you can say they can fight against this issue. Gandhiji saw this as an opportunity to bring Muslim under the umbrella of a unified national movement. So Gandhiji took the opportunity, and finally he got the opportunity that that he can bring Hindu and Muslim close together, and they can fight against the British rule. At the Calcutta session of the Congress in September 1920, he convinced other leaders of the need to start a non-cooperation movement in support to Khilafat as well as for Swaraj. So finally, in the Calcutta session in September 1920, he convinced all the other leaders, other leaders to start a non-cooperation movement with the support or in order to support the Khilafat issue, and finally they can attain the Swaraj. So if they will support the Khilafat issue, they can bring the Hindu and Muslim together, so that they can fight together against the British rule, and finally they can attain the Swaraj, that means freedom from British rule.